So we'll move on to the to a Truck Series storyline here in Chase Purdy going full time in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. Now we can finally call it that. No longer
thankfully.
It is the Gander, yada yada yada. It is the Camping World Truck Series once again. So Chase Purdy going full time with GMS to kind of fill the vacancy left by Brett Moffit. Obviously, he's going up to the Xfinity Series like we talked about earlier, but Chase Purdy ran some races in the Truck Series in the 24 car, 24 truck for GMS this season, and that kind of rotating around with Sam Mayer, Chase Purdy, and some other guys filling that spot. So they definitely had their eyes on Chase Purdy for a little bit here. I'm not too familiar with him before this past season, I'm going to be honest, but had some decent results. Wasn't really close to what Sam Mayer did on a consistent basis. Obviously, Mayer won a race at Bristol, but Chase Purdy is going to be going into, I think he's kind of like in the beginning stages of a Tyler Ankrum, in my opinion, from what I've seen this season. He's just going to maybe fall back to that fourth kind of truck, third, try and challenge for a playoff spot next season. But when you look at what Brett Moffit was able to do in most likely that same truck, the expectations can be a bit high for Chase Purdy in 2021.
Yeah, this is a interesting move is the way that I'll say it. Purdy is a guy that kind of follows in the same kind of pathway to what Tyler Ankrum, Sheldon Creed, Zane Smith, the three other guys at GMS Racing have done. You look at his history here. Chase Purdy started out 2017, David Gilliland Racing in the K&N Pro Series East. Well, the next season, that car was filled by Tyler Ankrum. You look at his 2018 season in ARCA with MDM, well, his two teammates were Sheldon Creed and Zane Smith. So there's a lot of familiarity going on with GMS there. They're pulling from a lot of the same sources. But Chase Purdy has consistently been behind the rest of his teammates there. You look at 2017 in the K&N Pro East Series, finished fourth with 0 wins. Well, the next season in the same car, Tyler Ankrum won 4 races in the championship. You look at the ARCA season in 2018, no wins once again, finished fourth in the championship. Sheldon Creed won the championship as a teammate. Zane Smith finished second. So has been a step behind to this point. Similar age as well, maybe deceptively old as a 21-year-old. Actually, his birthday was a couple days ago as well.
Happy birthday, Chase Purdy.
There you go. Yeah, happy birthday. Here's a full-time truck with the top team. Have a nice season. But yeah, he's 2 years older than Tyler Ankrum is, so he's a different kind of prospect. And the results this season just frankly were not GMS quality. You look in the 7 races, he had 1 top 10, was not consistently scoring points versus somebody like Tyler Ankrum, who, as that full-time guy, was consistently behind Creed, Moffit, Smith, but was still good enough to be inside the playoffs on points. I don't know if we'll necessarily see that from Chase Purdy next season unless he can get a lot of sim time, a lot of practice time, which is something that in terms of the practice will not come. So going to be definitely something to watch next season. I think the expectations are going to be too high for him. Just kind of the storyline of taking the seat that was filled by Brett Moffit, who was 2.5 laps away from winning the championship last year. I think that's going to be unfair to him. I think it's more going to be on the lines of Purdy. The expectation should be on the high end, what Ankrum did this year, and the expectation for Ankrum should be taking that next step up to contend with Zane Smith and Sheldon Creed and what those guys did this past season. But yeah, Purdy's going to be a guy I'm keeping an eye on as another one of those guys that maybe has some lackluster results compared to some of his teammates in the past, but what can he do when he gets full-time in the truck? Going to be fun to watch him next season with GMS and a team that has gone extremely young, whereas a team like ThorSport, which is those teams that are only in the truck series, ThorSport's gone kind of older with their lineup, and GMS over the last couple of seasons have skewed very, very young. And you look at the lineup here, and going into next season, their oldest driver is Sheldon Creed at 23 years old in a 4-stable car, with 4 cars on that team as well. Very young team. So going to be fun to watch as well. The young kind of guys looking to progress their careers in GMS versus maybe the old dogs of ThorSport as well next season.
They're basically the Hendrick Motorsports of the truck series. It's what it comes down to, what they're kind of building their brand on. So It's going to be a fun little storyline to keep you track of. I'm not expecting the world of Chase Purdy next season. I think you expect some other guys to really step up next season. I'm really looking at KBM as a make or break kind of year for that organization. You have to get some guys that go for a championship run next season, and then that kind of fills that spot there that's going to be left by Brett Moffit. And I'm not expecting Chase Purdy to fill that gap by Brett Moffit. That's just way too much.
No, and to that point, I'm a little bit surprised that they didn't go with maybe a veteran that was available on the market when you look at the fact that Brett Moffit was kind of that guy that kind of spearheaded that team this season in terms of consistency, being at the front every week. Obviously, it took a while to get that first win, but he was kind of the championship favorite there going into that final race. A little bit surprised they didn't replace him in terms of that veteran presence there, but putting kind of the onus on Sheldon Creed and Zane Smith to go, okay, this is your team now. Let's go lead the way and see what they can do. So definitely interesting to watch that team next season, just given how young they are. It's not something we see too often in the Truck Series.
Yeah, the team's in good hands, though. They've got our defending champion on there and a runner-up as well, I might add. So that team is definitely –
and I'm expecting
you don't want to sleep on GMS.
Ankrum as well. So
yeah, he had a rough playoffs, too. Like, it was just – it couldn't go worse
rough
for him,
season
really,
as a whole, really. Definitely wasn't what we were maybe expecting.
It's crazy to think that he made the playoffs, to be honest.
Yeah, that won a race
in the
2019
upset.
season. Goes to what is seemingly an upgrade, obviously, with GMS, and obviously GMS going to a 4-truck stable. You were maybe expecting somebody to underperform, and that was Ankrum this year. But again, very young, still just 19. But I'm expecting him to take that next step as well next season. And so maybe that takes some of the onus off of Chase Purdy next season. But my expectations are definitely reserved for him going into next season.